Bonaparte, for a commander, could not by force take a drink from the Ohio or make a track on the Blue Ridge in a trial of 1,000 years. At one point, then, is the approach of danger to be expected? I answer, if it ever reach us, it must spring up amongst us. It cannot come from abroad. If destruction be our lot, we must ourselves be its author and finisher. As a nation of free men, we must live through all time or die by suicide. Surely, Lincoln is not suggesting that America or Americans might voluntarily seek destruction. Undoubtedly, Lincoln believed that such an outcome would be the unforeseen consequence of calamitous misjudgment and folly. Yet I intend to show in this book that the American era is ending in part because a powerful group of Americans wants it to end. The American dream is shrinking because some of our leaders want it to shrink. Decline, in other words, has become a policy objective. And if this decline continues at the current pace, America as we know it will cease to exist. In effect, we will have committed national suicide. America's suicide, it turns out, is the result of a plan. The plan is not simply one of destruction, but also one of reconstruction. It seeks the rebuilding of a different type of country, what President Obama terms the work of remaking America. While Obama acknowledges the existence of the plan, he is not responsible for the plan. It would be more accurate to say that it is responsible for him. The plan preceded Obama, and it will outlast him. Obama is simply part of a 50-year scheme for the undoing and remaking of America, and when he is gone, there are others who are ready to continue the job. What makes the plan especially chilling is that most Americans are simply unaware of what's going on. Their ignorance, as we shall see, is part of the plan. It should be emphasized at the outset that the domestic champions of American decline are not traitors or America haters. They are bringing down America because they genuinely believe that America deserves to be brought down. Their actions are the result of a powerful moral critique of America, one that has never been effectively answered, nor is it easy to answer. Most people confronted with the critique go mute. Some respond with bluster, others want to change the topic. The ineffectiveness of these rebuttals makes independent observers believe this critique cannot be answered. Consequently, the critique is widely taught in our schools and universities and accepted as valid by the ruling powers in Washington, D.C. The critique leads to the conclusion that America must go down so that others can come up. It is now the accepted basis for America's foreign and domestic policy. The plan for national suicide is in effect, and if it continues to be implemented, it is merely a matter of time, years rather than decades, for the American era to be finished. American lives will be diminished, and the American dream will be an object of past recollection and contemporary sneering. In the minds of those who brought this about, this will be a very good thing. For them, as for Camus, suicide could be regarded as the moral course of action. Thumb through the writings of the pundits and scholars, and talk of American decline is everywhere. Is America over? Reads the headline of the December 2011 issue of Foreign Affairs. Writing in Political Science Quarterly, Giacomo Chiozza warns that America, once great, is now facing the prospect of its final decay. Stephen Cohen and Branford DeLong contemplate America's grim fate in a recent book, The End of Influence. The American standard of living will decline, they predict, and the United States will lose power and influence. America can no longer dominate the world because the other countries will have all the money. Once an America booster, Fareed Zakaria now chants a different tune, suggested by the title of his book, The Post-American World. Across the spectrum, commentators discuss how to prevent decline or how to cope with decline. Virtually no one is saying that decline is a myth or that America's prospects are rising. There seem to be three obvious indicators of decline. First, the American economy is stagnant and shrinking relative to the growing economies of China, Russia, India, and Brazil. In a recent article, The End of the American Era, Stephen Walt writes that China is likely to overtake America in total economic output no later than 2025. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, based in Paris, predicts that as early as 2016, when Obama leaves office, China, not the United States, will be the world's largest economy. When this seemingly inevitable event occurs, it will be the first time in many centuries that a non-Western, non-democratic, and non-English-speaking nation has headed the world economy. Since the American era coincides with American economic dominance, it seems fair to say that when dominance ceases, the American era will officially have come to an end. And history shows that once nations lose their position at the top of the world, they never get it back. Second,